pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let the record show all board members are present and accounted for with the exception of trustee Barnes. No action was taken in closed session. We're going to go ahead and amend the agenda. We're going to move, in communications, we're going to move reports ahead of public comment. And then we're also going to move charter school update for New Hope Charter, item D. We're going to move that to item A. We're going to make it the first one in presentations and information. With that, we will entertain a motion to approve to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, now we're going to move forward to recognition. We'll start with item A, present and adopt Mental Health Awareness Month Resolution number 926.
Second.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm here to read Resolution 926, Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas a month of May has been designated as National Mental Health Awareness Month in the United States since 1949 by the Mental Health America Organization, and whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and children, youth, and adults can recover from mental illness and lead full and productive lives in the community, and whereas a focus on prevention and early intervention efforts could greatly reduce the number of children experiencing serious mental health conditions, and whereas the Robla School District, recognized as parents and family members, have made invaluable contributions through their commitment, care, and advocacy for treatment of individuals with mental health concerns, and whereas the Robla School District reviews its pledge to continually assess and improve the range of educational services provided to meet the varying needs of our students with mental health concerns, and now therefore be it resolved that the Robla School District does hereby proclaim May as Mental Health Awareness Month and recommits our educational community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our children, youth, and adults can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people, especially children and youth with mental health concerns.
Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, present and adopt Classified Employees Appreciation Resolution number 927.
Second.
Resolution number 927 in recognition of classified school employees. Whereas the diligent efforts and unwavering dedication of classified school employees contribute significantly to the success of our educational institutions, and whereas April 23rd marks Administrative Professionals Day, commemorating the time to honor the administrative staff whose organizational skills and efficiency keep our schools running smoothly, and whereas April 22nd is designated as School Bus Driver Appreciation Day, recognizing the commitment and care demonstrated by our bus drivers in safely transporting students to and from school each day. And whereas April 28th through May 2nd celebrates School Nutrition Employees Week, acknowledging the essential role of school nutrition staff in ensuring students have access to nutritious meals to support their growth and learning. And whereas May 18th through May 24th is Classified School Employees Week, a time dedicated to honoring the diverse array of classified staff members who work tirelessly behind the scenes to enrich the educational experiences for students. Therefore, be it resolved that the Robla School Board hereby expresses its most profound appreciation to all classified school employees for their unwavering dedication, hard work, and commitment to the well-being and success of our students. And be it further resolved that the Robla School Board encourages all school community members to take this opportunity to recognize and thank classified school employees for their exceptional contributions to our educational mission.
Thank you. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, present and adopt Certificated Employees Appreciation Resolution number 928.
So moved. Second.
Resolution 928, in recognition of certificated employees. Whereas certificated employees play a vital role in education and development of our students, embodying dedication, passion, and expertise in their fields. And whereas May 5th through the 9th is designated as National Teacher Appreciation Week, a time to honor and recognize the invaluable contributions of teachers to the education and well-being of our students. And whereas May 6th is celebrated as National Teacher Appreciation Day, providing an opportunity for our community to express gratitude to teachers for their dedication, their hard work, and unwavering commitment to the student success. And whereas May 14th is observed as California Day of the Teacher, a day set aside to recognize the significant role of educators playing in shaping the future of our state by inspiring and empowering students to reach their potential. And whereas May 7th is also designated as National School Nurse Day, highlighting the crucial role school nurses play in promoting student health, safety, and well-being, and their contributions to creating a nurturing and supportive school environment. And whereas May 18th is recognized as National Speech Pathologist Day, an opportunity to acknowledge the vital role speech pathologists play in helping students overcome communication challenges and reach their academic and personal goals. Therefore, it be resolved that the Robla School Board acknowledges and expresses deep appreciation to all certificated employees, including teachers, school nurses, and speech pathologists, for their tireless dedication, professionalism, and passion for the education and welfare of our students. And be further resolved that Robla School Board encourages all members of the school community to take this opportunity to thank certificated employees for their outstanding contributions and to show appreciation and their commitment to the excellence in education.
Thank you. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to communications, we're going to start with reports, and we'll start with the Robla Education Foundation.
Good evening, and I see I have plenty of volunteers for the fireworks. And they think it's funny. Come Monday, I have been informed that there will be a digital flyer that will be sent out on Parents Squared, and it's going to be sent to me so that you will be receiving it again as staff members of the district, and hopefully I can get that roster filled this year before school ends. It creates less stress on my heart, which apparently Kaiser doesn't appreciate right now. The other thing is, as you know, we did the Golden One grant, had to come through us because we're the nonprofit. And today we met with the students to let them know that once a month we're going to look at the stats for their reading in the Lexia program. And since we have about 32 students in the program at the moment, we're going to do the top 5 students each month. At the end of the month, will receive a prize of their choice. And we also will be awarding their parents a $25 gift certificate of their choice. And we met with the majority of the kids this afternoon and asked them, what different things they would like to have considered as prizes for themselves. And so we've put it out there, and hopefully the students will take the challenge, and they will all try to, the purpose of it is we're taking students that are basically several grades below their grade level reading standards and trying to bring them up to standards. It's going to be a long process. Fortunately, it's a 2-year program for us. So we're hoping that this will be served well as a pilot program, and so that it could be maybe considered in the future. Time will tell. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Do we have a report from the Robla Teachers Association?
Trying to get this right, so I don't have to, a little taller than the last person. Good evening, Superintendent Chen and board members. My name is Leah Boylan. I am the president of the Robla Teachers Association, representing 144 certificated educators in the Robla School District. RTA members believe that our Robla students deserve the best. We're here asking you to invest in the educators who directly support our students. We have met with your bargaining team 8 times since February as we work to negotiate a new contract. While we have reached some agreements on some important items, such as summer school pay, bereavement leave, and our evaluation system, many critical items remain. RTA members are very anxious to have a new contract in place prior to the beginning of our school year in the fall. And many have shared with me that the outcome of our negotiations will determine whether they choose to stay in Robla or seek work elsewhere. With only 5 weeks left of the school year, we are calling on you, the board, to direct your bargaining team to come to the table and settle a fair contract that provides resources RTA members need to stay in Robla. Educator working conditions are student learning conditions. And unless we work together to improve conditions for our educators, our student achievement will continue to suffer. Over the past few years, Robla has been unsuccessful in retaining highly qualified and experienced teachers and has been forced to hire less experienced staff, including interns, to replace them. Today, 20% of Robla teachers have less than 5 years total teaching experience, and another 25% have been in Robla less than 5 years. This decline in experienced staff has a real impact on student achievement. According to the California School Dashboard, the percentage of students below standard in ELA has grown from 29.5% in 2019 to 61.1% in 2024. That's a decrease in achievement of over 31% in just 5 years. Similarly, the percentage of students below standard in math has grown from 44.3% in 2019 to 73.4% in 2024. This means that 29% more students are below standard than in just the past 5 years ago. If we want to increase student achievement, the solution is very clear. Increase the quality and the experience of your workforce by attracting and retaining top talent. Robla pays the lowest out of any area district toward employee health benefits. Our teacher's salary schedule maxes out $12,000 less than the district right next door. Unfortunately, so far your negotiating team has refused to offer to restructure our salary schedule to make Robla teacher salary competitive with other districts. As health costs continue to increase hundreds of dollars per year, they have offered a measly $70 monthly increase to health benefits contributions. That will do nothing to make Robla benefits more affordable, especially for all the single parents and young families. Additionally, Robla continues to try and add more and more work to the plates of our current staff, which is exhausting and places unreasonable expectations on newer teachers and those with young children and stay at home. If we want to make Robla a destination district with a great staff, that means respecting their time and their family obligations. Otherwise, teachers may choose to go to other districts where their work expectations are more reasonable. I, myself, have personally heard from several young staff members who love working in Robla, but they're considering leaving due to the workload concerns. The good news is that you can fix this. You have the power to change it. Currently, Robla has unrestricted savings reserves of over $23 million. That equals over 63% of your yearly operating budget. This reserve account is more than twice as much as any other district, one of the highest in the state. This is not something you should be proud of. These funds are given to Robla by the state to support the needs of our students, over 87% of whom are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and by holding this money in a savings, you are denying students the resources they need to succeed. We need to spend today's dollars on today's students. By investing in the staff who provide their education, you can afford to meet our demands. But our students can't afford to wait. On behalf of our 144 RTA educators and the students we serve daily, we are calling on you to settle our contract now. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, CSEA. All right, superintendent's report.
So good evening. It is nice to see all of you here, so thank you. And I will start off, instead of ending, correct. We have been in negotiations for a few weeks with both our labor partners, and I believe we do all want to come to an agreement. You know, that is our intent. So I don't want you to think that that's not there, but we all want to work to come to agreement. And I do want to thank the RTA staff as well as the CACA staff and our staff of really doing our best to come together to hopefully come to an agreement that works for everyone. So just a few things. Earlier today, we recognized our third trimester artists around. And what I shared was how exciting majority of the art is from our younger students. Most of them are kindergarten through third. And I know there's a reason why maybe sixth graders are not on here, because this art stays until the fall and they're left, but I do want to recognize that a lot of our artists are in the younger grades. National Teacher Appreciation Week is this year, and I do want to thank all of you for all you do. I usually recognize what I'm accustomed to is California Day of the Teacher, which is next Wednesday, May 14th. So please excuse if it appears that oversight, that really was not my intent. Classified appreciation is in 2 weeks, and following what we did last year, you know, we will be celebrating all our staff all next week. I want to congratulate the Glenwood Gators, right? They are our indoor soccer champions, so that I heard it was a good game, so I want to acknowledge them. You're right, Jeff. We are celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Month. Our Parent Empowerment Dinner is next Thursday, May 14th. Bobby Singh Allen, the mayor of the city of Elk Grove, will be our keynote speaker, so we hope you all can attend. At yesterday's State Board of Education board meeting, they voted to approve Robla School District in receiving the community school grants for all 5 schools. We haven't received official notice yet, but we know the board voted to approve. So all the sites will be reconvening their decision-making team regarding next steps. So if you were on that decision-making team, just know that it should be reconvened before the end of the year. And then lastly, President DeLuz and I participated in Coast to Coast, which was a federal advocacy trip in Washington, D.C. We were able to meet with our congressmen, and there were many things that are being advocated by all school board members and superintendents through California that attended. But we needed to make sure that we emphasize what directly impacts Robla School District, and that is increasing special ed funding, as well as maintaining the threshold for universal meals, right? Because they're thinking of increasing the threshold of qualifying for universal meals, and if they did that, 3 of our current sites would no longer be eligible. So that really was important to us. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Now we'll move on to board member reports. Start off with Trustee Devine,
Nothing at this time?
Trustee Cardona,
Nothing to report.
and Trustee Hamilton Starr.
Nothing to report.
Okay, I would like to report on the cap to cap. It was interesting because I had a chance to meet with several Congress members. The good news is that a lot of the stuff that you've heard about proposed cuts to education, most of them, nobody's really well, let me clarify. One group is talking about it, but they're saying that the other side is proposing it. The other side is saying, we're not proposing those cuts. So the good news is nobody is proposing those cuts. The other good news was that members seem to be very, very receptive to the idea of at least fully funding, or at least up to 40%, our special education. Once again, members on both sides of the aisle seem to be very, very open to that idea. One of the other things that we had discussed had to do with technology, whether it deal with, so a lot of them were very interested in particular protecting local school districts against cyber attacks. And then finally on the school meals program, once again, it seemed like it was very well received, although I really would have liked to have gotten a hardcore commitment that that is a change that is not going to happen. I'm believing that it's not, but I would encourage you to reach out to your congressman and encourage him to advocate to protect those programs and keep the qualifications the way that they currently are. And that will be the end of my report. Now we'll move on to public comment. This is an opportunity for individuals to address the board on items that are not on the agenda. If you have an item that you would like to discuss, please go ahead and fill out a comment card and hand them to the board assistant. Please note, we'll give you, was it 2 minutes? We'll give you 2 minutes to comment. Please note that because it's not an agendized item, we cannot discuss it. We likely will not even necessarily refer to it, but do know that we are listening and we'll do our best to try and address it, if not today, at a later date. And with that, we're going to start with Mr. John Byram.
Cool. Thank you very much for having me. I'm speaking on behalf of an RTA member who could not be here today. They sent me some comments they would like the board to hear regarding the contract negotiations. I want to address the salary schedule offered by the Robla School District and how it significantly lags behind those of neighboring districts beyond the first decade of service. Robla provides a competitive salary schedule for the first 10 years, which is helpful in attracting new teachers to the district. However, after year 10, the salary schedule becomes much less competitive. While neighboring districts offer salary columns up to 90+ units, Robla's schedule stops at 75. Even more concerning is that unlike other districts where teachers can move to higher columns as soon as they earn the required units, Robla requires 13 years of service before a teacher can access the 75+ column, regardless of qualifications. This restricts teachers from being paid fairly based on their education and experience, nor is it enticing to individuals moving to education as a second career. Additionally, Robla has more quote-unquote flat years, years where salary remains stagnant than any other nearby district. The highest possible salary in Robla is $110,941, only achievable after 30 years of service. In contrast, neighboring districts offer top salaries ranging from $113,000 to $124,000, starting as early as year 20. This means that while teachers in other districts begin earning their maximum salary in their 20th year, Robla teachers must wait a full 30. The disparity has long-term consequences. A teacher who spends their entire career in Robla could miss out on approximately $17,820 per year in retirement income compared to a counterpart in Sac City. As a result, many teachers are leaving Robla around their 10th year, seeking districts where they are more fairly compensated for their contributions. This turnover impacts our schools and students as we lose experienced, dedicated educators to districts that recognize and reward them. I'll be back again because another teacher asked me. See you guys soon.
All right, next we have Lisa Prince.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm a teacher in our preschool program, and I have been dedicated to supporting Robla's very youngest students since 2011. And every day I see my colleagues go above and beyond for our preschool families, and we want respect for our hard work, for our professionalism, for our dedication. The proposals that Robla has made for our preschool will only make our jobs harder. And it's time to invest in your staff.
Karen McClurg.
I am an SDC teacher working with the 4th through 6th grade students who are moderately to severely impacted by their disabilities. I've come to address our request for SDC teacher stipends. I want to clarify that the stipend is not bonus money. We don't believe that we deserve a higher rate of pay than any of our non-SDC colleagues. We're simply asking to be paid for the work that the district requires that we do outside of our scheduled hours. Though we do more, for time's sake, I'm only going to focus on writing IEPs on our own time. An individualized education program must be developed for every student on our caseload every year, with additional assessments and reports every 3 years. If done correctly, an SDC IEP takes a full workday to complete. I can provide you with more details as to why that is at a different time if you need me to. We're not given any work time to work on IEPs. We must provide instruction and care for every minute of every day, and rarely even have time to check an email. If we want to keep our jobs, we have to write the IEPs on our own time for free. Because if we request a sub to write an IEP, no learning will happen in our specialized rooms, only managing behaviors and surviving the day, and I don't want to be out of my room. Wouldn't it be better for the students if you just paid for the stipend instead of all the subs? If you take all the days it takes us to write IEPs, just the IEPs, not all the other work that we have to do, and tack them to the end of the school year, SDC teachers would finish the first or second week of July unpaid. Robla is the only district in the greater region that does not offer stipends to SDC teachers or a completely different pay schedule. And it's because of this work. I'm in my 5th year. I am the senior SDC teacher in the district. I'm the only tenured SDC teacher in the district. And I started as an intern. And we aren't getting any experienced applicants, and we're not keeping teachers. For years now, at least one of our SDC classrooms is a long-term sub. And
Allie Klein.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Allie Klein. I'm the 5th and 6th grade GATE teacher at Taylor Street Elementary School. And while there are many areas of our contract that should be addressed, I'm just going to focus on one. Robla provides the lowest healthcare benefit contribution of any district in our county. My husband and my daughter are covered under Covered California, because Covered California's affordability calculator has deemed our district's lowest available family plan as unaffordable. An Elk Grove teacher with a family health plan pays $440 out of pocket for medical, vision, and dental. In Sac City, benefits are fully covered. To cover my family with my district's benefits would cost my family over $2,000 a month. The district needs to greatly increase the health contributions so that we can afford our benefits instead of forcing us to look elsewhere. I drive from El Dorado Hills every day to and from this school district because I love it here. I drive through many school districts and I don't want to have to move. Thank you.
Okay, we have Stacy Draper.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Draper, and I am a 3rd grade teacher at Robla. I want to start by saying that I love my school site. I enjoy connecting with students and families. I work with wonderful colleagues and supportive administrators. What I don't love is feeling that I'm undervalued. I hold a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, and after nearly 25 years in education, I consider myself a highly qualified teacher. When I see that neighboring districts have a 90-unit column on their salary schedules and Robla does not, I don't feel valued. When I see cherished colleagues opt to leave our district for higher salaries and better benefits at other districts, I don't feel valued. When I spend 20 minutes each day or an hour and 40 minutes each week serving and cleaning up breakfast in my classroom, when I could be using those precious minutes for instruction, I don't feel valued. When this district cannot retain highly qualified veteran teachers, it impacts the morale of the entire staff. Since I began working here, I have heard from the district again and again that Robla is a family. The truth is, we teachers need to consider our own families first and foremost. I am here to serve my students every day, but ultimately I need to be able to support my own family with things like healthcare and college tuition. I would like to be able to pay off my own student loans before I retire. Many of us want to finish out our careers at Robla, but must make careful calculations and difficult decisions regarding our retirement outlooks. I implore the district bargaining committee to give careful consideration to the contract negotiations so that great teachers come and stay, so that we can focus our attention on what we were trained and hired to do, and so that we feel that you truly believe.
Thank you. Alana Williams. Alora, sorry.
Hi, good evening. My name is Alora Williams. I'm proud to teach 4th grade in Robla at Taylor. I'm here tonight as an educator and a member of our union. I would like to speak on my experience as a newer teacher in the district. My experience has been that talented and passionate educators start their journey with Robla. They have an intention to stay and to do well. But as time goes on, a lot of us are faced with choices regarding employment that are unfortunately not driven by passion or calling, but more practical realities. Many of us are struggling with the reality that staying in Robla means missing out both financially and on long-term stability. My major concern is our health benefits. We're often told that as a small district, we can't access better plans, but Robla has more in reserve funds than many neighboring districts. That communicates to me that it's not a matter of resource, it's a matter of priority. Some of the neighboring districts cover teachers and families' entire healthcare costs, meaning that they're able to take home a more well-rounded and livable wage. Also, I would like to address our pay scale. Right now, there's no additional column to support that long-term growth. As a young teacher, if I'm looking to remain somewhere, I'm looking at the money for long-term growth and for retention and things like that. Considering that steep drop-off after the 10-year service and the years of compounding loss comparatively to other districts, it makes a younger teacher like me a little bit nervous. So I tell my students, and I'm a little bit nervous, but I tell my students every day it matters to use your voice and to speak up and advocate for yourself. So I'm stepping into that space today, and I would ask the board to reflect and talk with their bargaining team about moving forward with our contract. Thank you.
Oh, we got one more left, and Mr. John Byram again.
All right. I'm once again speaking on behalf of an RTA member who's at home with her family, couldn't be here tonight. I'm speaking about the benefits that Robla School District offers their employees and how they fail to come closer to other districts in Sacramento. My husband is a teacher in the Elk Grove Unified School District. The disparity in our pay lies not only between our salary columns, but also our benefits. I will speak solely on our benefits today because of time. How can Robla say it supports their employees and offer such meager benefits? Comparing the same Sutter Health Plan package that both districts offer, we obviously are under my husband's benefits and pay $645.28 each month out of pocket for Sutter for our whole family to be covered. Elk Grove fully covers vision and dental for our family at no additional cost to the employee. If our family were to choose Robla benefits for the exact same health plan after applying the $675 the district offers, it would still cost $1,965 a month out of pocket for just the Sutter Health Plan, with an additional $179.89 for dental and $41.99 for vision. The out-of-pocket cost for a Robla employee monthly is $2,186.88 compared to the $645.28 a month for an Elk Grove employee. The difference monthly is $1,541. The difference yearly is $18,499. This is just in benefits alone. The disparity of benefits doesn't stop at the district level. It continues deeper with the cash in lieu allowance that many of us aren't eligible for if hired after 2017. If the district isn't able to provide comparable benefits as the other districts in Sacramento, which the data shows they are not, then we should all have the option to receive the $400 cash in lieu. Over a 30-year teaching career, employees that take the cash in lieu receive an extra $144,000. There's a lot more, but I think you get the point. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for their comments. Just know that you are always welcome to come before the board and share your views. We're going to go ahead and give you a few minutes for those of you who'd like to. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have some online comments.
All right. So this is from George Mendoza, and it reads, President DeLuce, members of the board, Superintendent Chen, the Robla School District has served a cornerstone of this community since 1890s, shaping not only our children's education, but also identity and strength of our neighborhood. For many generations, Robla has earned a reputation for commitment, resilience, and community spirit. However, the past few weeks have presented real challenges for our families, teachers, and most importantly, our students. These difficulties not only are just headlines, they affect students' learning experiences and well-being every single day. As board members, you have a responsibility to truly represent the people of Robla. That means reaching beyond these meetings, being present, engaged, listening to concerns, and guiding the district with empathy and accountability. I urge you to remember that respect is a two-way street. Now is the time to listen deeply to the voices of parents, teachers, and students, and to make decisions based on their needs and hopes. There are pressing issues with ACEs, ELP, and the support and retention of our teachers. These are not just administrative matters. They are crucial for the success of our students and the stability of our schools. Robla has always had a potential to be a beacon of hope and opportunity for every child. The ball is now in your court. the decision before you determine whether Robla continues to lead with vision, integrity, and compassion for our generations to come. Let's work together to ensure Robla remains a place of pride, progress, and promise for our entire community. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, that is it for public comment. We're going to go ahead now and move on to public hearing. Public hearing to increase level 1 statutory school facility fees imposed on residential, commercial, industrial construction pursuant to EDC 17620 and Government Code 65995, Resolution Number 925. With that, this hearing is open. Oh, yeah, go ahead and make some comments. Yes.
This is developer fee that we are increasing the residential developers by 21 cents per square footage, and for commercial is 3 cents. That's what we are allowed by state law. And one of the reasons we are doing this, that we want to apply for Proposition 2, we had to at least meet a minimum requirement what the state allows us to charge the fees. So to be clear, this is only for new developments like new housing construction.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Does anyone else like to speak on this item? Hearing no one else, I'll now we got. Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're on now to presentations and information. Item A, 24, oh no, I'm sorry, we moved, where are we at here? There we go. We're going to do charter school update, New Hope Charter.
Good evening. Thank you, President DeLuce and trustees, Superintendent Chen and staff, and families of New Hope. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to give an update. This is our annual update, so there's a lot of information, but I want to give as much time to the folks who are here with me tonight, our scholars, and so I want you to all hear from them. So in the old boardroom, you all had this little plaque that said, be brief, basically be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. So I will try to be brief, I will be gone, but the brilliant part is going to be those students. All right. All right. So just a reminder, this is our mission and vision, just provide a safe, nurturing, and supportive learning environment for all scholars that will empower our students to maximize their academic potential. And this is our vision, basically to graduate students who are empowered to be independent, determined, and compassionate global leaders who think critically, collaborate, and serve willingly, and work passionately toward a sustainable future in the world they will inherit. So there's been a lot of growth since I was here last time, about a year ago, to give an update. So I just wanted to touch on some of those things. We continue, we've only completed 3 full years as a school, so it takes time to grow all the systems out. But we've definitely been building out our systems. So one of the big changes from last year to this year is that we're independently reporting CalPAD, CBEDS, and Special Education Information System data, the SACE system data, directly to the California Department of Ed. And also, New Hope also now has its own track for the Student Information System, Q. So that's a whole lot of systems that we've had to put in place, but we're very pleased to report that everything is going quite well with that. Another big change for us as we continue to grow our program and move to independence is that we have been basically a part of the SCOE SELPA, the Special Education Local Plan Area, but we have been accepted into membership into the El Dorado Charter SELPA, so we're actually included in the funding formula now, as opposed to just being a school of the district. So that was a long process, but an important one. Also, the past 2 years, we've been a part of this special ed, small LEA, cyclical monitoring, basically an audit process from the Department of Education. So that was quite a bit of work, and I want to acknowledge our special ed director for the district, Ms. Horowitz, as well as the SCOE director. We worked very closely, our staff did, and it was quite a thoughtful process in terms of reviewing all the processes, especially are we providing educational benefit for all of our scholars. So that was something that we were in the first cohort in the county to do that. And then also we've been able to add an ACES after-school program. I know a lot of folks are here to talk about after-school program. We're grateful that we have an after-school program now, and we're thrilled to be able to provide this for our students and families, and some of our scholars will talk about that. And then fiscal, we've just been working closely to build systems for our fiscal systems so that we can continue to have a sound program financially as well. And so we've had a clean audit in terms of our independent auditors coming in and reviewing for our fiscal systems. Also, just our enrollment, we've stabilized at about 170 students for grades 7 through 8, and I'll touch on that later as well. And then finally, just bigger picture, 8th grade promotion is coming up. And you'll hear from some of our 8th graders. June 11th at 3 p.m., but we've moved it to the North Natomas Community Center because we've really tried the last 3 years to have it outdoors. It's been a challenge outdoors. Some of you have been able to attend, so we want to be able to have this not be interrupted by weather, and also just the technical issues that we've had. So that's the focus there. Let me give you some data. I hope you all can hear me because I hope the sound is okay. All right, yeah, good. All right, I'm just going to touch on our dashboard data, and the trend is what I want you to really take away from this. So we look very closely, of course, at all of our students' achievement data. This is just a breakdown of our community, and just in terms of our scholars whom we serve. Okay, very similar to the Robla community, of course. We reflect them in our student body as well as in our staff, actually, as well. Okay, so this is the progress that we're making, just in terms of our climate and culture of our school, as well as the English language arts, math, and English learner progress. So you can see, where we were 2 years ago, and this is, by the way, from 23-24, so it's not reflected in this year's data. So the most recent shows that our chronic absenteeism has dropped, our suspension rates have dropped. We moved from red to yellow, so that's significant. Our English learner progress also, we still have a lot of work to do in our English language arts and math, but I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. Also, just to report, what we're projecting is for our absenteeism and our suspension rates. Absenteeism will drop by another 5% with the trend that we're on for this year, and our suspension rate will drop to about 8%. So we continue to work closely with our scholars, our families, our staff, to ensure that students have the best climate so that they can succeed in their learning. So this is just the indicators, and I've just broken them down, so I won't go into depth in this because I want to preserve time for our scholars to speak. But this is the work that we did with our staff to really understand how we can go deeper and better understand each student's needs. So these are just where we're at in terms of the different colors I just showed you on the dashboard. And what we did, as soon as we got these results back, we started going down, deep dive into the data to provide our staff the guidance that they need in how we're going to work with our students. So with that, we've continued to grow and move forward, and that will be reflected in the 2025 dashboard. So we've studied this data, we've pushed forward. We've also been working with SCOE. We have coaching support from SCOE through the Comprehensive School Improvement Program. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Devine.
I'm confused. Can you explain this so I can understand it? How you're negative 72.7 on the green screen?
Ah, okay. Let me go back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramon.
Not forward.
Thank you.
I'm going back, I think it is.
Turn your mic on.
Yeah, turn your mic on.
Please, Trustee Devine.
Turn your mic on.
Oh.
Sorry.
And the group performs.
So back one more.
Okay.
Student performance.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes.
The English language arts in red that's negative 72.7.
Okay.
And the math that's negative 126. I'm confused about this. Can you explain it better
Yes,
to me?
I will be happy to do that. So the DFS is the key. So this is distance from standard. So those are the percentage or the points that are on average where we're at as a school. So it's negative 72.7, just means that that's how many points we want to close to get to the standard. So for students to meet standard.
So like on average, each student needs to bring it up this much, or is this overall?
It's not, this is overall. This is not each student. So we have students who are meeting and exceeding the standard, but then we have some students who are far below the standard. So that's how it breaks down.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
A little bit.
Okay.
Process it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So basically, we're trying to get all students to meet the standard in each of these subjects,
Okay, but
and
it's
that's
all
the
like
distance.
72 students need to bring their scores.
No.
Okay.
No. That's how many points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making
Good
sure,
question.
like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, we're going in the right direction. And so I wanted to just show then what do we do with that data? So as I mentioned, we're continuing to build on our students' needs. And I'm just going to jump here. So it doesn't mean anything. Those are just numbers unless we have certain goals that we set. So our LCAP, I'll touch on this very briefly. And so we fed that data into our LCAP cycle. So we started a new cycle this year for the local control and accountability plan. And so we're in year one. And looking at what we did was we revised our goals, our actions, and metrics. And these are our three goals that we came back with. So academic performance, school climate, as I've touched on, and parent engagement. Okay? And these are within each of those goals, the actions that we're taking, and then how we're measuring the effectiveness of those actions to meet those goals. So here's goal 1. Those are the actions. Okay? Goal 2, around climate. And this has been such an important thing. You all have heard me in the past talk quite a bit about just creating the right environment, a healthy environment, a safe environment for students to succeed. So that's a lot of work that we've done that's reflected in why our absenteeism, suspension rates, just the overall feedback we're getting from students, staff, and families that feeds into these actions. And then parent engagement is important. You'll see some of our parents here, but more importantly, our parents are engaged in the collaboration with us in their student success. So I'm going to pause here because I'm going to ask Mr. Khan, our school director, to come up because, again, these are just numbers, to your point, Trustee Devine, until you actually hear from the students. Because behind every number, there's an actual story. And so I want you to be able to hear their stories, but also just want to thank you all for your continued support of our students and our program. So, Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Pagani. Hello, Superintendent Chen and esteemed members of the Robla District School Board. While we understand that this is an annual update, we did not want to miss the opportunity to share our experiences this year with you all and some stories on what is behind the data that you just saw from Mr. Pagani. My name is Anjan Khan, and I'm the director of New Hope Charter School. As I close my third year in that position, I'm proud to speak on the growth of the program and where the school is headed. I came to know Robla District in the summer of 2018 when I applied to be the coordinator of school climate at Glenwood Elementary. For 4 years, I was able to learn the community from the inside, know the Robla way, work with staff, parents, and students, and build relationships that are the cornerstone of this small yet impactful district. The time working for Robla was essential for me and my position before I took the director position at New Hope. With that bridge came a continuation of students who wanted to stay home. Tonight, I will highlight these scholars and one of our staff members who grew up right here in this district. Hashtag Robla Strong. I would like to start with our scholar, Judith. I have known Judith since she was a third grader at Glenwood Elementary. While we were Gators together, I could tell you that she was going to be an amazing scholar. Fast forward to now, if you look up the title of student ambassador, she would be right there. Every single trimester, honor roll principals list, every single year, advanced on state test scores. But her respective teachers of other students and her inclusivity to talk and engage with all students is her greatest quality. I joke with Judith all the time, I'm just going to hand you the keys, you just run the school, you could do it. And those of you who know her, you know that's 100% true. The next student I'm going to introduce is Takari. Takari's path is much different than Judith's, yet it is one that is built on trust, relationships, and overcoming obstacles. Takari did not have a great year last year. Matter of fact, she actually might be the reason why my hair is turning white. But this year has been a completely different year for her. So she took the positives of what she could gain this year, turned it around, made honor roll for the first time, and is in so many different leadership capacities, this being one of them. To get up to speak to a board, how powerful is that for an 8th grade student? So we're proud of her. She's going to continue to make honor roll, I know it, and she's just off and running. Our last student is Paulina. Paulina is also a former Glenwood student, and she was in Judith's same grade level. I'm happy to see that Paulina came to our program, and now sad to see that some of these scholars are moving on. While Paulina didn't have any serious issues, there was always the girl drama that she was able to learn from and just be better about this year. And it comes with the age and it comes with the maturity. To her credit, she focused this year and made it a goal to reach honor roll in each of the first 2 trimesters, and she's on track now. She also attended enrollment visits like Takari and Judith to the Robla schools and spoke to 6th grade students about her experience at New Hope and why they should come to New Hope's charter. And of course, we cannot forget Mr. Sylveste. Somewhere in the late 90s, a young boy and his family moved to the Robla area and was a student at Glenwood Elementary. Nowhere in his future did he ever imagine that he would not only be a teacher, but he would come right back here, full circle, to where he first came to elementary school. While the students like these that have come to New Hope are gifts, Mr. Shabeste has been that very thing, and a great example for students to follow. He could have taught in any location or any district, yet he is here in the very space that is the footprint of where he was a young student years back. At this time, I will invite the scholars of New Hope just to say a brief message to the board and with Mr. Sylvester as well. And once they are done, I just have one closing remark for the Robla District Board. Can I please invite Judith to come up and say a few words?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judith, and I'm an 8th grade scholar. I've been part of the Robla district since I was in preschool, and now going to high school, I am very sad to leave. I would like to also thank you guys and all of the teachers for the opportunity to continue my years in the Robla district all the way till middle school. The teachers were very supportive and were always willing to help. They helped me become a better person, not just academically, but personally as well. They're always willing to support and continue my advancements in classes. Thank you all.
Takari, can you please come up?
Good afternoon. My name is Takari. I'm a scholar at New Hope Charter School. My experience at New Hope was positive. I met lots of great people. The teachers are very helpful and nice. I've been in the Robla district for 10 years. It's going to be sad to leave. I love New Hope because it's a small school. They're kind, nice, and very helpful. They prepare you for high school and college. When I first went to New Hope, starting middle school, I was very nervous. But within a month, I felt very good. I made a lot of good friends. New Hope is a very respectful and calming school. Last year wasn't the best, but starting 8th grade was way better. I made honor roll and achieved lots of other goals of mine. I'm very glad I had the opportunity to attend New Hope.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paulina, and I am in 8th grade. Looking back at my time here, I am proud to have chosen going to New Hope for middle school. I've spent time creating new relationships with kind and supportive teachers. I wasn't the best version of myself in 7th grade, but moving forward, the teachers were able to help me become a better person. Now going into high school, I will miss New Hope and will forever be grateful for all the opportunities and things they have done for me.
If I might chime in real quick, I don't think any of us were the best versions of ourselves in the 7th grade.
Exactly. So I also want to, as beautiful young scholars, I just want to encourage you all to continue to tell your story and tell your story in a positive way, in a positive light. You are all doing amazing work, so continue to do that work and don't allow anybody to tell your story in a negative light. Okay, you all are beautiful. Keep shining your lights beautifully. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for the opportunity just to share really how grateful I am that I get the chance to serve the community and the families and the students where I grew up. When I came to the United States, I was in the 5th grade and didn't speak any English. And so middle school was really tough for me. And I'm so thankful that even though we didn't have a school like New Hope back then, that I am able to serve students like me now where I am. And so it is just an honor to serve this community and work with everyone at New Hope. It truly feels like family. So thank you.
The stories of these students and Mr. Sylvester what grounds us at New Hope. As our logo is an oak tree, our roots are now firmly in the soil, and the growth of the branches continue to rise up each year, reaching the energy of the sun. While some may ask, who is New Hope? The greater question may be, who is Robla? To answer that question, they are Robla. The students, parents, and community of New Hope are Robla. I am Angel Khan, and I'm proud to deliver this message.
Thank you so much, and I'll pause for questions.
Any questions?
Like I always ask, do you have a mascot yet?
So far, like Mr. God mentioned, we were sticking with the tree.
Oh, just sticking with a tree.
Just
Perfect.
for now, just the tree.
Any other questions? Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, now we're going to move on to item A, the 2024-25 Learning Update and CSPP Program Self-Evaluation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Robla community. My name is Fabiola Salceda, and I am the Director of Early Childhood for Robla School District and at Robla Preschool. This is my second year and at Robla, and I have to say that I am very proud of the community that we have. This journey has been amazing, and it has also been a team effort on what we're going to be presenting tonight. So as every year, we do have the reports on the CSPP, some program highlights, some success data, and next steps for early learning. We also have some information on our first 5 program and highlights and next steps, and moving along with high quality preschool for our community, progress and next steps. This year, we had to get creative. We were thoughtful and flexible with our California State Preschool Program enrollment to ensure that we were in full compliance with licensing, square footage, and requirements. Our enrollment was at serving 114 preschool children ages 2.9 to 4 in 2024-2025, and 21 students in the full day program. We also, this year, we had new California State Preschool Program requirements, which require additional observations at our site. We completed 50% of classrooms, exceeding the 15% requirement for the 24-25 school year. We hosted a parent orientation before the beginning of the school year, which resulted in amazing support. We were able to build some relationships with families, and we were able to go and cover over what our program's expectations were, as well as welcoming families into our program before they started. We did a lot of expanded professional learning this year with early childhood. A couple of staff members attended the National Association of the Young Child Conference in Anaheim back in November, and we were able to learn from experiences at the NAYNC. We were able to bring back and share with our colleagues about what was learned, including designing new classroom environments for our new building that we are going to be moving into next school year. I apologize about that.
The glass is broken.
This year, we were also able to tour the American River College with partnership with the Child Development Director, and we were able to explore opportunities with partnership with them by observing high quality classroom environments and actions. We were able to also visit and offer valuable insights and practical ideas to support efforts to continue building our early childhood community at Robla Preschool. This year we had Ms. Lana as being our Teacher of the Year. She is our science teacher, and we are very proud to see her success this year and the next years ahead. And we have a video that we can share with you just to give you a sneak peek of our new building and classrooms at Robla Preschool. It is the very last one on the right. Okay, we're gonna have to skip that one, but we are very excited to welcome you into our Robla Preschool so you can come and take a look at our new facilities once we open. And continuing with our quality at our school and early learning, we were able to do training for our staff on class assessments and class environments before they were observed. We were also able to continue implementing Learning Genie, which is a tool that we have been using to do assessments for preschool, and continue training not only our teachers but also our instructional assistants on how to use the tool to assist the teachers on creating observations for their students. Many of our staff this year enrolled in early childhood courses and earned advanced early childhood permits. We were able to have them complete their lab hours at our site with our mentor teacher, Ms. Natasha, and we were able to help them and support them in their paths. Also, to ensure that we were in compliance with Title V and Title 22 and maintain a safe environment for our students and for our staff, we conducted daily head counts in both indoors and outdoors. All of our staff and our team were able to continue upholding the required adult-to-child ratios. This year, for our parent survey data, we were able to survey our families as every year, and we received very satisfied results in both our fall and our spring. And as with every year we conducted, we noticed that there is also always room for improvement. And we are committed to continue improving. We had already identified the steps to increase our family participation for next school year, including offering the survey in multiple formats and providing bilingual support and having our bilingual outreach coordinator available during drop-off and pick-up to assist the families on completing those surveys as well. We have some amazing data and some results that from the fall 2024 to the spring 2025, the data demonstrates significant growth across key developmental domains, including social and emotional, language and literacy, cognition and physical development. This growth is a direct reflection of the intentional developmentally appropriate practices used by our teachers and staff and the nurturing, engaging environments we've worked hard to create. The DRDP is more than just a compliance tool. It's a comprehensive observation-based assessment that allows us to truly understand how each child is developing across multiple areas. In early childhood, This type of holistic assessment is critical. It ensures we're just not focusing on early academics, but also supporting the foundational skills that lead to long-term success in a school and in life. Our staff also used our data to guide their instructional planning, to individualize learning experiences, and to engage families in meaningful conversations about their child's development. It is one of the most powerful ways we stay responsive to the uniques of every child. And with our next steps, we are going to continue implementing our classroom assessment scoring tool, which at the beginning of July 1st, 2024, the California Department of Education required that all California preschool programs to begin that phase of implementation to support continuous program improvement. This year, as I mentioned earlier, we exceeded the required 15% of the classrooms, and we did about 50% of our classrooms. And these observations have been helping us to reflect on teacher-child interactions, classroom organization, instructional support, and key elements of high-quality early learning environments for our community. To increase our efforts, we will be expanding our PLST position to a full-time position to support with coaching, curriculum, planning, and the alignment with the preschool learning foundations, the RDP class, and developmentally appropriate practices in early childhood development. And we have our first 5 program, which is our Play Pulse classroom. This year, we served 75 families in 24-25. We had to be creative with offering Play Pulse for ages 0 to 4 with a piloted new session due to our new contract requirements. And even with the 4-session model that we implemented this year, our enrollment of the families was higher than last year. We maintained consistent family engagement despite construction, limited space, and we did have those portable bathrooms. We still were very amazed to see all of our community and our families continue coming back to Play Pulse. Play Pulse is a very special part of our community at Robla. Families keep coming back, often with new babies, because they feel welcome, supported, and connected. They trust the program, and they trust Ms. Lisa and Ms. Blanca, who bring incredible knowledge of early childhood development and a warm, encouraging presence to every session. Our next steps for First 5 is moving into a larger classroom for them, dedicated space after construction, which we are very excited about. Our goal is to enroll 80 families through the First 5 grant, and we were so close to that goal this year. And continue outreaching our upcoming once we move to our new classrooms. And here is a couple of pictures of our youngest ones at the district. Engage and play. Questions?
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'm just excited to see the data for next year, at least through kindergarten and beyond. Because the growth that these children showed over the years, or over this year, was spectacular. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to 20. Okay, move on to 2024-25 review and 2025-26 changes to the local control accountability plan.
Good evening. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about our local control accountability plan. Just a little review and reminder of what exactly that is. In my presentation tonight, in the interest of time, as well, is that we've already presented the data to you that is in the plan. You'll see all the data in the plan as well. So the data that is reflected with our current year outcomes has been in the dashboard presentation, the CAS presentations, and the school site SIPSA updates. Okay, so tonight I'm not going to be addressing the data specifically, more about what the plan looks like. So just a quick reminder that the Local Control Accountability Plan, or the LCAP, is an important district document. It's a required document that is a 3-year plan. So we just completed year 1 of this 3-year plan. The plan contains actions and services that the district will implement towards, we have 4 broad goals in our plan. The funding for this plan, the plan needs to include how the funding is being allocated across these actions and services. And each action and service has to have some measurable outcomes associated with it so that we can look to see that these actions and services are actually doing what they intended, or make adjustments or remove as needed. So, Local Control Accountability Plan is the plan based off of the local control funding formula. So this is very important because this is the information in regards to how districts receive their funding from the state of California. There are 3 calculations that go into that funding formula. The first, the base funding, that's the base program, that's the money we receive that is based off average daily attendance. Supplemental funds are funds that are received on top of that with the intent to meet the needs of certain populations, what we call our unduplicated students. These are English learner, our foster youth, and our low-income families. And then the concentration funding is one source of funding that not all districts may receive. It's a source of funding for those districts that have very large concentrations of these unduplicated count, the low-income English learner and foster youth. So what does that look like here for Robla? So our base funding is the funding that we receive from the state of California in regards to, it's broken up by grade level groups. So we receive funding for K-3 and receive a certain amount of funding for grades 4 through 6. This base funding is based on average daily attendance. So if our enrollment is at 1919, we are being funded currently on 93% of that enrollment. After that base funding, there's an add-on for grade level, and this is the adjustment that if you keep your ratio in K through 3 at the state level of 24:1, remember it's the ratio of the grade level span, not grade by grade. If you keep that ratio to 24:1, then we receive additional funding to help support that reduced class size. Then we have the supplemental funding, as I said, was the low-income English learner and foster youth, and the concentration, which Robla School District does receive. On the right side, you'll see how our numbers fall in those 3 categories. In the plan, we have 4 main, what we call broad goals: academic achievement, school climate, parent involvement, and inclusive educational practices. We have a 5th goal in the plan that is in relation to what's called differentiated assistance. That is the support districts receive at the district level. So SIPSA report, there's some SIPSA reports that will be coming up, school plan reports. They have something called ATSI. The district has differentiated assistance. So if you are found to be in differentiated assistance, meaning one student group has 2 dashboard indicators that are below the rest of your overall, 2 points below, you are in differentiated assistance. So those are usually just student groups that are in the orange and red categories, or could be yellow if the rest of your population is up in the green. Okay. So last year, we were in differentiated assistance for our African American students and our students with disabilities in these 3 different categories. I'm happy to say that we were removed from differentiated assistance. We made significant improvement for these student groups over the past year. However, we were found in differentiated assistance again this year for 2 different student groups, and that was our homeless students and our long-term English learners, which is a new student group on the dashboard. So currently, what you're going to see with our LCAP is the district is working really hard to maintain current actions and services. This is a 3-year plan. We just completed year 1 of this plan. And when we create the plan, we have outcomes for year 3. So we look at how are we doing each year towards that 3rd year outcome. The 3 new things that I am going to talk about that will be in the plan are 3 potential individual funding sources that are outside the LCFF funding. So Prop 28, Arts and Education. This is one that we brought to the board before, and the board approved our plan for the use of these funds. We would like to add 2 additional STEAM teachers, that's science, technology, engineering, and art and music, to our staffing, and they would mainly be supporting 4th through 6th grade or combo of. Again, it depends on what is realistically balances out when we look like how many, because they need to serve all 5 sites, how many classrooms can they realistically cover and provide comprehensive lessons working with the classroom teacher. So this is not enrichment. This is working with the classroom teacher to help infuse more STEAM into our instruction. We're looking mainly at science at this point in time. The Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant is a one-time grant that was allotted to districts that has a timeline for spending. And essentially, if you had not spent down all this money, this was money received after COVID. If you have not spent down all of this money by the end of this school year, you need to add an action into your LCAP with your intent on how you're finishing up spending down that money until that money is all gone. And the way you use these funds must address students that are performing low in ELA and math at minimum. Okay, so they could be ELA and math and science, which is what we are looking at in terms of what our scores are. We're looking at that, can we use these funds to maintain the reduction in class size that we currently have in grades 4 through 5. So right now we are not fully, we don't have classes of 30 to 1 in grades 4 through 5, and we're hoping to be able to do that. That's what we want to do with the funds, keep it below that number, more in the 25 to 1 range. The budget is a moving target, I think Mr. Castillo would say. So right now, this is a very critical time. We don't have the budget fully identified because we are waiting on the May revise, things that are happening in that world. And so what I can tell you is that we do know that we are in declining enrollment. So this is the information shared to the public back in our March LCAP update or infographic. And as you can see, our LCFF revenues are projected to be below what they were this current year for next year. That is mainly because of our average daily attendance and declining enrollment. So our actual average daily attendance is at 1784, but the formula that is being used, they have a whole, like, look at this year, look at that year. The state decides how they're going to determine, but we're being funded on 1788. And last year we were funded on 1,806 students. So we are being funded on 20 plus more less students with when the funding per pupil amount is $15,000 a student. That's a significant decrease in income. The supplemental concentration grant funds, again, these are the funds that need to be spent directly for those 3 student groups, the unduplicated population of low income, English learner, and foster youth. Those funds also are seeing a decrease from the current year to next year. Again, this also has to do with declining enrollment, which also makes a decline in the number of English learners we have in the district. So at this point, we don't have the fully projected numbers. This is what we know in March, but we do know that the COLA has changed again. So Mr. Castillo will work to update the numbers as he has more accurate information. What are the next steps for the LCAP? So the next steps will be that the LCAP draft will be posted on our website for public review. We'll also have a public hearing on June 12th at the June 12th board meeting. And then the board will have it on the agenda for adoption at the June 26th meeting along with the budget. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now to item C, the 25-26 school plan for student achievement, or the SIPSA update.
Okay, I'm back. Just for a moment, though. Okay, so are the school plans for student achievement. These are the site level plans similar to the LCAP. They need to align with the LCAP. We have 2 sites that are going to present today on their school plans, and that would be Taylor and Glenwood. One of the things that school plans has to address is what's called additional target support for improvement, or ATSI. So as I was referring to differentiated assistance, DA, for the district, ATSI is a designation, one of the designations that a school can find themselves under. So each school will, if they are an ATSI, if they left ATSI, we will see. And also they're going to celebrate not just if they were able to leave ATSI, but other things that happened within their school for the year, and then any plan changes that they're expecting for next year. So that was my overview. I spoke before my slide. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in here. ATSI designation is very, very similar to the designation for differentiated assistance, essentially. And here are some celebrations. Taylor Street and Main Avenue have exited ATSI. Some new challenges are for Bell Avenue with their homeless student population, chronic absenteeism in academics, and for Robla School also with the homeless students, chronic absenteeism, and some suspensions. So next week, next board meeting, not next week, when Bell Avenue and Robla speak, they'll address that. Okay, so I'm going to hand this on over to Taylor Street School.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Chen. My name is Michelle Chris. I'm the principal at the Taylor Street Elementary. And some celebrations, I want to start off with that, would be our increase in attendance. We've been the district winner for the attendance contest since they started. I think we've only missed one. So that picture down there is our 4th picture. And then our increase in school culture is also another celebration. It's continued success with our restorative room, and it speaks to our culture on site. And then our increase in community and parent participation. This year, we were able to host, at the beginning of the year, United Way had a family community event. And from there, we were able to connect with the literacy program, SAC Republic, and the Del Paso Heights Library. I mentioned at the last board meeting that my whole school was able to go to Del Paso Heights Library as a field trip, and some of them had never been, and it's within walking distance. So that was really huge for me because it really highlights the importance of reading as well, and a community resource that they have. Some areas of focus for improvement would be our ELA and math scores. We're just kind of on the incline, but we have a lot of work to do with that. Specifically, I put on there our reading phonics, that foundational piece with the phonemic awareness and the phonics. It's usually general K2, but for us, it's K6. All of our students, we are working on that, and I'll talk about that in a minute with our win time. And then supporting student achievement through family involvement. I didn't put engagement, I put family involvement. And those 2 pictures show a student doing counting collections in 1st grade, and then another student reading during our annual book nick outside. We would really like to see parents on site with students in the academic realm. They've been wonderful at events, but we really want to see an increase in parent involvement on site and even after school. So new actions, like Cindy mentioned, we are not in ATSI anymore, which is great. So some of the new actions we are proposing going forward, we have a win time, what I need time, which is a designated 30 minutes a day focused on ELD development. And then also we're thinking our leadership team met that we can every kind of trimester switch off with math for our English only students. So really kind of focusing, trying to hit both the ELA and the math components with our students daily for those 30 minutes. And then we're also, we've been doing this, is data-driven staff meetings. We've been talking about data at our staff meetings. We have a lot of new teachers, so using that data to help drive their instruction as it implies to our students has been very, very important, and we plan to continue that. And then school-wide reading math challenges, similar to the attendance challenge, which we've been winning. We think adding reading and math to it as a school site could also help with that reading, increasing that reading and math, those scores and parent involvement as well. And what that looks like, our leadership team is meeting to see what that really will look like, but that's what we're planning to do at the beginning of the year. Some evidence-based intervention and strategies. We're going to continue our attendance incentives for students. We have internal attendance contests at school, at our site. Our outreach for parents, again, that focus on academics. They're doing great with the attendance, but really kind of focusing on the academic piece as well. Continue our mental health and SCOE collaboration, which has been amazing. We've had a couple workshops this year with SCOE, and our mental health specialists on site have been amazing for our students. We want to continue or go back to our math peer observations. We've noticed when we had that focus on math and the teachers were watching each other and other teachers from other sites, it was really beneficial for them and the students, which goes to our Tier 1 focus, which is in-class interventions, and then continue our talk around integrated versus designated conversations on ELD as well. Any questions?
Clarification, y'all didn't walk, everybody didn't walk to the library, did y'all?
No, we took the bus.
Oh, I was like,
But
that's
it
a long
is
walk.
that live around
That live in the area, okay.
been there, which was
Okay.
great.
I was like, that's a long walk.
Yeah, and we our dance group performed there in the Christmas because of that collaboration as well. Yeah. No, so they didn't walk.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I like that little spike you slipped in there. You know,
Yeah.
the tennis that we won.
Yeah, I saw the side eye too.
I like it.
Great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Thank you.
Pass it on to my girls.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the proud principal of Glenwood Elementary School. My name is Dr. Andrea Rodriguez. Go Gators. So our celebration, we saw an increase in parent involvement. We have a lot of community events and partnerships, and so we are looking to expand the way that our community can come onto our campus and give our kids some real-world applications. So that included clubs and just partnerships that we have and parent nights. So this year we tried doing themed parent nights. We held one a month, and those were around attendance, mental health, things like testing, math strategies, literacy. So it was our first time. They weren't well attended, but we're not going to give up. We're trying to figure out the perfect time, and we also make sure that we're providing dinner and childcare. And that'll be part of our plan for next year, and also doing some academic outreach. We did see an increase in attendance for our close to 500 students on our campus. We didn't win, but we'll get it eventually. We saw an increase in ELA grade level achievements, which you may not see on the dashboard because it only talks about certain state level testing. But if you look at our district-wide benchmarks, each grade level is increasing periodically over time. So we're really looking at math strategies, and a lot of that is due to, I have to really shout out our intervention specialist, Ms. Fabi, who brought on Amplify, that did a lot of great work for our kiddos and their work in phonics and really helped us dive deep into data. We also saw an increase in our math grade level achievements, and actually our African American students continue to be the ones that out-test every other group on our campus. So that's another great celebration. Our areas of focus for improvement are EL supports and our ELD time. So we saw a great decline on the dashboard in regards to our kiddos and the LPAC testing and our English learners. A lot of our kids are maintaining their levels, and so there's not a large decrease, but there's a lot of maintain, and we are really wanting them to reclassify. It's very, very important, especially before going into that secondary world of middle school, because there's long-term effects for our kids there, and our goal is to make them college and career ready while they're a Gator. So we are being strategic. We are actually talking with the staff now in regards to plans for next year and doing some creative approaches. And one of those things is intentional PLC planning. So our whole staff actually started looking at the master scheduling for next year at our staff meeting this week to see how we can get our grade levels to work together and switch as a team in regards to meeting the needs of our students. So you have your high and low students, and they're needing different things. If you're teaching math at the same time every single day, because the master schedule allows that, then you can dive deeper into what the students need and make it more effective. Whereas right now, teachers are having to switch depending on where enrichment is, where recess, where lunch, and it makes things more consistent. And that's we want. If teachers are better supported, they can be more effective for our kiddos. And so we're trying to do what's best for our teachers because it's best for our kids. Our DLI and our EO assessment alignment, right now when we're looking at testing and assessments through going to CABE and doing dual language trainings and working with SCOE and working with Ms. Lyon in regards to our DLI, we're trying to find alignment in what we're assessing our kids. And a lot of times when we're doing assessments for DLI, we are not doing comparative of if that student is an English-only speaker being tested in another language, or if they're a native speaker being tested, because we're getting different results. And so we're trying to dive deeper in understanding how to best support our kiddos and our teachers to differentiate that data. We're focusing on standards and lifelong skills rather than curriculum. And then we have continued statewide intervention supports and creative approaches to, again, like Ms. Chris was saying, parent involvement. So we know they come out to events, so we're trying to be savvy on ways to get them on campus to help them feel supported when their kids go home to learn. So new actions for staffing, that's mostly with our master schedule and the collaboration. So to be able to do the alignment for the PLCs to give our teachers more structured time to make academic minutes more effective, we're looking and changing for our enrichment. Right now we have 2 full-time and third person there for 1 day. We're noticing that to make it more effective, we need a third person there, possibly not full-time. Our celebrations are becoming more academically focused, and so we want to be better about doing that. And then, doing community involvement, so getting the community on site, but also getting our kids out. One thing that we tried this year was a community weekend, and we tried to do some beautification on our campus, and parents came out and teachers came out to contribute to that for more ownership of our community. And so some evidence-based interventions and strategies, again, creative approaches to win over Taylor, also increase our attendance. Deeper data analysis to understand the gaps for our ELA, SLA, so your English language, but also your Spanish language, and how we can turn that into win time and provide those interventions for our kiddos. Intentional academic minutes, which I talked about earlier, blocking it for less disruption to the academic minutes so our kids can dive deeper. And then additional enrichment support, so having them support academic minutes, increase PLC time with intention, specifically looking at our EL students who make up about 73% of our population. Any questions?
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick comment, just as 2 of our newer principals, I just want to say I really appreciate the aggressive approach that both of you have taken. You've really taken the, for lack of a better term, the bull by the horns at your respective sites, and you're doing a phenomenal job. So thank you. Thank you. We know you're putting in effort. Okay, now we're going to move on to item E, loan restructure request for New Hope Charter School on district temporary portables.
Good evening again. I'm going to try the mic, do a better job this time. I was told I was too close. I'm up a little bit. So try that. All right. Thank you again, President DeLuce and Robla trustees and Superintendent Chen and staff. So I just wanted to give a little context to this. So give me a moment, and I just want to kind of go back in time just to give us, just in terms of our facility, how we got there. So New Hope Charter Schools charter petition was authorized by this board for a 5-year term beginning in July of 2020 and expiring in June of 2025. However, due to COVID-19 and the opening of the school was moved to the 21-22 school year, and also as a result of AB 130 and SB 114, the legislature extended charter petitions that were expiring in 2025, 3 years out. So basically our charter petition now would expire in 2028. We would be seeking renewal. So one other thing that was very important is our board, the Robla board, in a special meeting on August 5th, 2021, the board approved a loan of $2,042,227 toward the construction of the temporary classrooms at Glenwood, at the Glenwood Elementary site. But once again, due to COVID-19 delays, we remember those days and the term supply chain issues. Our temporary facility actually was not available to us to be occupied in January of 2022. So there's been a lot of stops and starts. But the bottom line is this is a temporary facility, and at the termination of our lease, the facility will transfer wholly back to the Robla School District. So Robla School District will own the facilities, all the site work, everything that's been done will belong back to the district. We've just done the work to build it up so it's livable. The only thing that would go back would be the leased portables that we have. So what we're asking, what we're proposing is just an extension of the loan repayment period. We've paid over the last 2 years roughly $700,000 toward the school facility loan, but we need more time because we're starting to really stabilize now. And so what we're asking for is to align our loan term to align with the new charter petition period of expiring in 2028, plus an additional 2 years just to give us that period that we need to make sure. The construction of a permanent facility for us will continue to take several more years. And again, a key factor is limited classroom space at our temporary site. We only have 9 classrooms. Typically, 2 of those classrooms have been set aside for our special ed programs because we have nearly 22 to 25% of our scholars have an IEP. And additionally, we've had a special day class program at our site. So that's really limited the space that we have. We've been averaging about 160 to 170 students. And so that slows down the accrual of our assets to be able to repay the loan. But as I mentioned in my earlier presentation, we are definitely on that track, and we want to continue that process. So the extension, and in working again closely with our CFO, Mr. Castillo, we have been discussing this as well as with Superintendent Chen. So this is our proposal, is to extend the term to match the new charter expiration date of 2028 plus 2 years. And I'll take any questions.
Any questions? Mr. Castillo, it's actually a question for you. What are some of the things that we need to take into consideration as we consider an extension? What are some of the things that we need to make sure we're focused on?
The biggest thing is that it will take longer to obtain the cash. It's a cash flow issue. The original loan is attached is to be expired on June 30th, 2026. So now it's an additional 4 years. The main thing is that we want to collect our money, and also the interest that we was going to have is a lot. It's a longer period of time, so the value of the money is more expensive. So that will be less value than as time goes on.
Okay.
The present value of the loan.
All right. Are we charging interest on the loan right now?
1%.
Joe, 1%.
Accumulation. So when the original was loan, it was more about our partners at help, just because that was a lot cheaper than they will go to get a loan through a bank or an institution.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
I have a question. If right now we are supposed to have a contract all the way to June 2026,
That's correct.
right?
Yes.
You'd like to extend it to, you'd like to extend it to June 2030.
Yes.
Do that means also our contract as supporting the school, it will extend completely? It's a whole contract round. It's just only the loan.
Only the loan.
It's only the
loan.
Yes.
And the board approved this loan, and this is like information. We could change it and negotiate. That's the request to do for an additional for 4 years because of what.
Just for the loan.
Just for the loan.
Because
yeah.
I heard earlier you already approved for El Dorado, be part of El Dorado.
That's
No, that was for the
child
Oh, that's
special.
for
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They
Okay.
had to be part of CELPA.
You have to be part of Robla.
Yeah, so they have to be. So they, El Dorado specializes in charter schools.
Okay.
They do most of the charter schools in the region, so that's why they went there.
Okay.
Any additional questions?
No.
Comments? All right.
This is an information item. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to move on to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Action items. Item A, approve revised board policies, regulations, and other exhibits. This includes policy number 1250, visitors and outsiders, regulation 1250, visitors and outsiders, policy 3515.2, disruptions, and regulation 3515, also including disruptions. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, adopt dismissal of certain certificated probationary employees, resolution number 924.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, adopt increase in level 1 statutory school facility fees imposed by residential, commercial, industrial construction pursuant to EDC 17620 and Government Code 65995, resolution number 925.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
This, excuse me, this is in alignment with the presentation for the public hearing that we did earlier.
One question that I did have that I didn't ask earlier, when was the last time we either considered or both considered and passed an increase in developer fees?
In August 2022.
Okay.
That was the last time that this board approved the rate increase.
And you say this is for new constructions.
This is new construction, only new development. So so this is not like, I want to be very clear, this is not a fee that is applied district-wide.
That's
only
correct.
you are you're doing a construction, that's why you have to pay. That's the increase, 21 cents per residential and 3 cents for commercial. So it's gonna,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve roof contract for Mountain Roofing Systems for replacing the metal roof for Glenwood Elementary School, Building C.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
So this is, we did a bid. We were very fortunately, we get like over 6 bidders. This is the lowest bidders per contract. The roof, we thought first we will be able to fix that, but it's over like 30 years old, and it's once the inspection is will be, it's highly recommended that we need to replace it. It's not a whole roof, and just sections.
So we're working on this in sections, basically.
Well, we only had a section, yes.
Okay, we only had a section. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, approve 2025-26 service agreement with Changing Perspectives.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Okay, so I'll talk about this. This is continuing our work with Sam Drazen and working on with inclusive practices. This year, he piloted the work at Taylor Elementary and Robla Elementary. So this contract is for continuing the work at those two schools, as well as adding Main Avenue and preschool. There's.
I didn't realize I was mixed up. I'm sure you've summarized it really well. We're just really excited about the idea of continuing working with Sam on improving our access for all of our students, improving our sense of belonging for all of our students, and ultimately increasing academics for all students that may be underrepresented.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item F, approve contract for TPX for district telephoning services.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
Pending board approval, this vendor would replace AT&T.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item G, approve 2025-26 request for proposal. That was easy for me to say. Request for proposals RFP number 25-110. Recommendation for expanded learning providers, ELO, PAP, and ACES.
I would like to amend this. I would like to adjust this to where the 6 providers that introduced the RFPs are added to our current providers that have already been approved.
Okay. All right, so that is your motion.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
While I appreciate the superintendent and her team's efforts, I believe that their intentions were fair and reasonable, but I can't support the recommendation as presented. As a board member, my duty is to set the direction and policies for our district, ensuring accountability and advocating for the best interests of our students and our community. When I felt voiceless in this process, I had to revisit those responsibilities and remind myself of the importance of community input. I do not write policy, but I do believe that our community deserves a meaningful voice in shaping the policies that impact our children. Just because a system is in place doesn't mean that it's the right one. Equity is not about everyone getting the same thing. It's about giving each student what they need to succeed. I am grateful to all the parents and the teachers and the families who have spoken up. And I hope that this is an opportunity for us to step back and reassess this process through the lens of both equity and community-centered decision-making. Thank you.
Absolutely agree. We have 6 providers that we have never met before that have offered up RFPs. We've never talked to them. We don't know exactly what they're going to provide. So we should add them so that way we can look into them while keeping the providers we have to compare to.
Well, first of all, let's go see. I think we have some public comment on this item. We have Danielle Sturgeon.
think that we can all agree that this has been a faulty process, lacking critical elements and most importantly, lacking the involvement of critical stakeholders, the community. I ask that the board votes no on the district committee suggestions and place a pause in the RFP. Such a sensitive matter deserves adequate time to properly assess, evaluate, and include Robla families in the decision process. The City of Sacramento procured the 3-year ACES grant before being transferred to the district in February. And since we are only in year 1 of the cycle, allow the City of Sacramento to finish out the last 2 years and then revisit the process so it may truly be done fair and equitably. And if then it is found by the community that there are more credible programs to serve their children, so be it. But at least the voice of the community is included and reflected in that decision. Some areas of concern regarding transparency. After learning on February 5th from CDE that the ACES grant would be handed over to the district, one of the 6 suggested vendors, Right at School program, was invited to present at the February 27th board meeting. If everything was about fair and equal process, why were no other potential providers invited to present to the board? It was stated by the superintendent that there is no plan of replacing any current programs, that it is simply about bringing more opportunities to the Robla community. However, eliminating current vendors is exactly what the board was being asked to do. Since the April 24th board meeting, there has been the ongoing message that no decisions have been made at this time. However, program directors of your current vendors received an email on April 23rd from the executive assistant to the superintendent stating that in fact that they will not be awarded the funding for the 25-26 school year. How can this be said by the district if the board has not voted on anything yet? It was stated in the superintendent's report, because this is public funds and it is a big amount, and we never in the past had to do a process to award such a large grant, I, the superintendent, felt it was important for a fair and transparent process. But this is not the first time. The district procured the $3.4 million ELOP grant in 2023, and no RFP process took place at that time. There was an ELOP program plan guide that was adopted by the board on February 9, 2023, and then was approved by the board on June 29th of 2023 to subcontract $1.4 million to the City of Sacramento and approximately $555,000 to the Roberts Family Development Center, because according to the adopted ELOP plan, in quote, the community's response to the programs have been extremely positive, and parents see these programs as an important service that is necessary to keep their children safe. Again, no RFP process, the funding was simply awarded by the district. Because an RFP is not legally required, does the district have the right? Yes. And should they? Absolutely. However, according to ACES grant guidelines and a representative from the Expanded Learning Division of the Department of Education, there is no legal requirement to do an RFP. There is no legal obligation to contract with any particular vendor in an RFP, nor is the district legally bound to do the RFP all over again. Ultimately, the district can award the funds to whoever they want. So again, vote no, pause the process, fix the process, and give it the adequate time it deserves. Thank you.
Ms. Sturgeon, might I ask just a quick question? Because the motion that's now on the table is to actually approve the 6 providers, including those who are already providing services. Does that, I mean, I know you were opposed to the previous motion.
Yes.
Do you also approve the new motion or disapprove?
Amend it and to add them to the current providers.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Sally Barajas.
Good evening, board. Good evening, superintendent. I don't have much to say because I wasn't here at the first couple of meetings, so I'm not up to par on everything. But I do want to say that I have been a parent for START for over 27 years. First with my kids, and now with my grandkids. START is very, very important.
just want to provide clarity. I did get notification if START was not awarded a contract next year. They were not interested in providing summer school for this summer, but I want to be clear, if that was the case, that START was not interested, I would be working to ensure that we provide summer school. So I just wanted to provide clarity. I know we amended the motion, but in the information that we would not have summer school is an inaccurate statement, and I just wanted that to be stated.
But you guys have a second program after the Daddy Summer School, because as of now, you guys have summer school, right? With the START program. In conjunction, you guys have the two. So what you're saying is you still go ahead and have the summer school.
I'm sorry, but if you'd like to ask a question, do us a favor, because of the sensitive nature, normally we would, once your statement was made, we would.
Right, but she.
No, I understand. I understand. She can answer that. You can answer that. Go ahead and answer that question.
So was your question, would we have a program after our academic program? The answer would be yes.
Okay, next we have Sabrina Oliver.
Hello, my statement is not relevant to the current, but I still want to state what I originally had written, and I will try to process as I'm speaking. I'm here today to ask the board to vote against and not show support for the ELOP ACES item on the agenda. I believe the district and the board owe it to the community to restart the process from the beginning by selecting a new committee with parents and guardians from each school and teachers/administrators, should they be interested in their contract, allow for participation. The committee should revise every part of the process, the RFP, the rubric if used, etc. Your current committee does not include a single parent of a student enrolled. Every time the committee is brought up, their expertise is defended, yet you don't consider the expertise of the parents and the guardians in this committee. You have no knowledge of our past or present employment or other relevant experience that could be brought to the committee, aside from the plain and simple fact that we know our children and this decision directly affects us. You discount what we can bring, including again. Large number of parents and guardians insecure despite having a known need in this community. You have failed us so far in the process, and I hope you can realize that failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. I acknowledge that this puts a strain and burden on the district. However, I will say to you what I say to my child and what the school says to my child: you can do hard things. And I believe that we owe it to our children to show them that as adults, we can do hard things too. We should lead by example and show our children that it is worth it, that they are worth it, to admit when a mistake has been made and you need to start over. I hope that this group is made up of cycle breakers who will do the same thing and won't move forward with the process just because it's easy and because you're almost done. We see it too often in business and elsewhere in government agencies where the path of least resistance is chosen over doing the right thing. And I ask you to please not be like those people. Please do the right thing, the hard thing, and vote no. Please seek parent involvement this year. It is not just enough to listen right now. You need to hear us and take action. You need to align your actions with your goals. Mistakes are a fact of life, but it is the response to the error that counts. And what will your response be today? Thank you.
Just a real quick question. So you're still opposed to the amended motion that was proposed tonight to include the 6 and then also add in existing providers, including START?
I haven't had time to process that. It's a little, I still really strongly feel that parents should be involved, and I think that not enough parents have still been involved. And bringing this up at the last minute, while I appreciate it, is difficult to process and to think what that would mean, because I don't know what that means. And I don't want to give an answer that I feel is short-sighted because I have to speak on the spot. If I can come back before we close, I would appreciate that opportunity if I have something more concrete, because I clearly really, really love START. My child has a very special place and very special relationship with all of the START teachers. It means the world to us. But I also think that in general, the board has made some missteps, and I would like to see the board and the district have made missteps. And it is, yeah, it is hard to trust what the amendment means. I'm still in a skeptical position. So I appreciate it, I do. But we are skeptical because we don't know what that means. We don't, because the discussion was last week was some of these RFPs that we received were for total providers, right? And some were for supplemental. But as a person just here today, I don't know which ones were supplemental and which ones were total providers. I don't know what that means that you're going to do to START. Does that mean that START will become supplemental because you approve this amendment? Or does it mean that they will stay the primary provider and these other ones we brought in as supplementals? So that's why I'm hesitant, and I'm trying to like process and think and talk at the same time because I don't know what your amendment means. And I am not 100% inclined to trust it, even though I know it has, I think, good intentions. I would appreciate if instead there was more time given and more feedback sought from parents, because I also recognize that I am not a representative of every type of person in the community, and I want those other people to have voices as well, not just mine.
I guess to that, Superintendent Chen, so what would be the process? So let's say going forward, let's say the motion were to fail. Let's say there, and we were to approve nothing. What would that mean going forward?
Okay, let me just ask for clarity. So you amended the motion to include the 6 top providers with our current providers.
Yes.
If that amendment failed, or
If that one failed.
if that amendment failed, that means that we would start the RFP process over.
Okay. What does that mean for going into next year?
Going into the 25-26 school year?
Yes.
In preparation?
Mhm.
So it would mean that we have, I would want to get more input from the parents and the community and the students. We would issue an RFP. The RFP is required to be posted 14 days, right? And we would just follow the process again. And then all those providers who are recommended would come to you. And if you approve them, then we would start the process of, the presentations that you all requested, as well as determining what contracts to issue.
Now, if the motion were to pass, what would then be the next step? What would we be looking at for next year?
So the request was to have the new providers do presentations. So we would reach out for them to do presentations. And to be transparent, I can't tell you what is next, what it means with 6 providers and our current providers, because this is a new amendment. So if you're asking me, like, issuing contracts, would we be issuing contracts like the next week? Absolutely not, because we would have to do, and then we would look at the process of how we can engage with our current providers as well as consider new providers.
So as they come and they do the presentations, obviously it would be done here at the board meetings.
Absolutely.
Community would be able to be involved, ask questions, participate in that process. Now, this is only for a 1-year process, right?
Absolutely.
Which gives us the opportunity to revamp the process, whether it be the rubric, as well as the committee, those who are evaluating it, however we're going to do that as well for the future.
Absolutely. The RFP was just for the 25-26 school year.
Okay.
And we knew that we were planning to reissue an RFP for the 26-27 school year and possibly 27-28. We knew this RFP was just for 1 year.
Okay. I'll say this. This process has been an interesting one. It's been an interesting one because, first of all, I think everyone recognized that the whole process had challenges. One, I think timeliness was an issue. I think the other thing had to do with just the fact that, I agree with the superintendent that when you are allocating or when you are putting out or when you're spending that type of resources, the amount of money we're talking about, we as a board have an obligation to look and see what is the best that we can provide for our students. What's the best value that we can get for the taxpayer dollars that are being allocated to the district? So we have an obligation to look at that. I think I can speak for all the board members when we were completely and utterly shocked when none of our current providers were among the top ranked. To a certain degree, to some degree, I believe that may have been a reflection of the rubric, but to a certain degree, it wasn't. To a certain degree, I believe it was the quality of the presentations of the proposals that were put forth by the other providers. One of the reasons why I very much support this amended motion is because it gives us the best of both worlds, I believe. It gives us an opportunity to take a look at what's out there, to take a look at what else can we get. Instead of just going with what we've known, and what we've known has been good, but maybe what is out there can be even better. We don't know until we know. But it also gives us an opportunity for those who partnered with us in the past to be able to present their best, because I don't believe that the proposals that they submitted were representative of their best. Truthfully, many of you here who have come and advocated for those programs, for those providers, have promoted a much better case than did those providers themselves. And that is a testament to you. Not as much to them, but it is a testament to you. I'll say this. I know that each and every one of us here, we commit our time because we care about this community, we care about these kids. We want to make sure that we provide the best. No decision is made by this board until we vote on it. No one member of this board has any more power or authority than any other. In fact, as individuals, we have no power or authority. Our authority comes from all of us being here together and us voting and making decisions as we were put here by the voters. And I say that to say primarily this. I am proud of the fact of so many of you that have come and have passionately and articulately communicated your concerns with the process. You've been very passionate in your support of the programs that you believe have really benefited your children. I think, with all of the rigmarole and all of the frustration and political angst that takes place in so many other districts, this was a challenging issue to deal with, and it still is because we're still dealing with it. But you handled it with grace. You handled it with effectiveness, and I think the fact that we took the item off the agenda, the initial agenda, is evidence that we heard you. That we held a special board meeting is evidence that we heard you. The amended motion going forward is evidence that we heard you. Once again, and I said this in the very beginning, I can't say that us hearing you is us going to be doing exactly what you want us to do, but I can tell you that we can demonstrate it by our actions. And should this motion pass, I hope that you will, whichever direction it goes, I hope that you feel as I feel, as we've done the best that we can to make sure that you've been heard, and I believe this motion represents the best interest of our students going forward, and I think a fair opportunity for all providers, new and old, to be able to present their case, not just before the board, but before the community. So with that, if there's any more discussion or debate, no more discussion or debate, we'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're going to move forward now to board member requests for future agenda items and reports. Trustee Devine?
I don't have a request for the board, but I do have a request for everybody sitting in this room today. When the presentations do come up for these programs on our agenda, if you would please join us and have your friends and other parents join us, so that way they can be a part of the process and ask questions and be involved. We would all greatly appreciate that.
Trustee Cardona?
I don't have any special thing too, but I also want to let that community, and I know they, as a school board, we are a group. We don't take decisions by ourselves. And each one of us in here are here because the children need us. We can be doing something else, but we're here because the children need. But in the same talking too is uh, sometimes we feel, and I don't say this is our, because we're gonna vote one way or the other. Sometimes when we have something for so long, sometimes it gets kind of standard, and we assume that it's okay. And these um, proposals that we have, it give us the opportunity to see what else is in there. We always complain. We always see our dashboard. We see our kids struggling. We see all these things. And after school learning is an opportunity for learn to reinforce and learn and move and teach our kids. And if we come or we have or a, a, a company or what we have now offer our kids that opportunity to move the needle a little bit. That's just what we're looking for. We want our kids to succeed. We want them to get good grade, and it doesn't matter who is there. We want that needle to be moved up. I've been in the board for almost 11 years, and every time I see dashboard and I see these numbers in red and yellow and purple, it's just depressing. We like the kids to move on, and the learning after school learning program, it has to be a backup for us, side by side with us, and with the teachers, with the parents, and we need that. And don't be afraid of change. But sometimes we stuck in the gate. It has to be this. It has to be that. Sometimes it's a rainbow. It's a lot of colors in there that we need to see. And if whatever company or whatever we have, whatever we decide, just think about it that we are doing it for our kids. We're not getting nothing else, if not a desire that kids get the benefit of.
And just to reiterate, I don't write policy. I wish that I did. I don't have a lot of expertise in all of these areas. I do work in education, but not in K through 12. So I don't write the policy, but I am an advocate, and I will shout to the rooftops as loud as I can to make sure that your voices are heard. Policies are not policies until we vote on them. So everything that is written and created is in pencil until it's voted on. And so continue to have your voices heard, continue to contact us. Your emails are helpful, your phone calls are helpful, your voices in this space are helpful because you can trust and believe that I hear you and that I am reiterating your voices in closed session. I'm reiterating your voices anytime that I can because your voices do matter. So thank you all.
And with that, this meeting is adjourned.